Hey, what's going on? Here we are, Audi Lakeland. It's John, and I'm joined by Dennis today, and we're talking about a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things that are really on the docket here. And now, so I'm back and forth between here and Sarasota. Okay. And I brought my microphone, I brought the good equipment, but what I forgot to bring is I forgot to bring the camera. So we are on the webcam, but that's okay. We're gonna make do with what we have right here. And it's crazy. We've got storms. It was a stormy day. It just came down, and you could see the clouds. This is a little bit of an analogy to what I'm feeling in this car business right now. Just a little bit. It's a little bit of an analogy. So, like, it was a decent day. It was sunny coming in, and then I felt those. Then the clouds started kind of forming up, and then all of a sudden, it just bang, it just started just raining, just pouring. And now we still have some rain up there. And you just see people in a certain mood. There's a certain thing going on. I don't want to jump the shark a little bit. There's a lot of things to talk about, but I mean, do you feel me? First of all, let's talk about you and let's talk about what's going on right here. I mean, it feels like we've shifted in the car business a little bit. What are you sensing out there? Now, you have been a top stunner right here at Audi Lakeland.
Thank you.
I love that. Now, you see, this is someone that has been a general manager at Silvercar, that knows about Audi, that has, good CSI, all these types of things. You've led the leaderboard, but do you feel, even someone at your level, do you perceive a little shift? What do you feel is going on right now?
Compared to when I first started back in November, it's definitely a shift. Less volume coming in, I see a little bit less people. However, this gives me more room and opportunity to just get more creative with how I present myself and how I prospect. But I mean, I'm just learning as I go. So
are you worried?
Am I worried? If I'm honest, can I say no? I'm not really worried. The reason why is I'm just not going to stop. And I know that probably sounds a little cocky, but it's just, tomorrow's another day and you just got to keep going.
No, I love it. And we're going to get to that. And that's really what the show is all about right now, right here, right now, is because it's a combination of different things. Right. So let me set the table first, and then we can dice right into it. We're going to do some adjustments here. We're working with the webcam, so we're trying to we're going to adjust some things on the fly here. I'm my own camera person as well, so it's all good. That's a little bit better, player. So we're gonna work it like that a little bit. Okay, and we may be joined by Nick Marolda at any point here. We don't know. Who knows? I don't want to tip the hand too much. Okay, as I like to say about myself, I'm nobody. I just know a lot of things and know a lot of people. Right. And my phone gets lit up all the time, as it did today. And I got some very interesting text messages, and we're going to get into that vaguely in a minute. But we talked to our Audi rep, and I don't want to say too much. And it's not even just that. I've talked to different people, different brands, different markets. I'm talking to people up north. I'm talking to people all around, let's say Central Florida up, right? And it's kind of a common thing, which is retail slow. Hey, seasons are back. What that means in Florida is, hey, guess what? October, particularly November through like March, you're smashing it. Snowbirds are here. Everybody's in the state. We heard all the stuff about how Florida's the state where everyone's coming to, and the rents are up and money's flowing in. And some of that's true, but then guess what happens? Right after Easter, Memorial Day, then they're gone. They're back to Connecticut, New Hampshire, Chicago, and this side more Midwest, wherever, and all that. New York, New Jersey, all that type of stuff. And it gets pretty slow. Before I came here back to Cavalli Group, Audi Lakeland, all that type of stuff, I had a lot of people, and they're, we'd love to have you, but it's not right now, it's too slow, whatever like that, because you can't put a superstar into, you don't put Jaws into a freaking guppy bowl. Right? It's not going to work out so good, okay? If I say, I don't even know what I'm saying. It doesn't even matter. And then at the same time, I'm still trying to do the impossible here of trying to I got called out a little bit, but not really like this, our colleague, right, who's been on the show before, Holly, he's got a part-time schedule. I'm trying to make full-time money on a part-time schedule. I'm trying to do the impossible, okay? But we're going to talk about that. But the vibe I'm getting is, look, in no particular order, seasons are back. Hurricanes over with the shift in demand and all that type. That was more of a Florida specific thing. COVID is over, and that's everywhere, right? And the numbers, the BPO, the benchmarks, what we thought was going to like, I can't, again, not brand specific, not market specific, everything like that, but basically like expectations may have been here and reality is a little bit different. What are we going to do? That's the main thing, right? And rates are up and economy's tough and now things have paused, but we've got an election coming up. We got Nick Marotta in here. This guy's a winner. This guy's a winner. This guy's a player. He's just doing it. I love that. This is the team. See, this is the thing. As much as I like, sometimes like, and I don't want to get myself in trouble with G Money and all the, the elite team. But sometimes I worry about this, right? Is it heavy? Is it light? That sounds heavy, but it feels a little light right now, bro. I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried about this month. But the month's never over till it's over. And I feel like it's going to accelerate. But I also don't want to just be talking happy talk, right? Just to talk the happy talk. And let's get Mr. Nick in here. There we go. There we go. And I think it's crucial to have a plan. What I'm seeing and what I'm hearing is it's everywhere. A little more specific on Florida, just because like there is a seasonality involved in the mix. I am hearing from leaders that things are getting tough. And I know when my phone's getting blown up, as it just did. He loves it. Tony Z, our leader says we got it. Let's go. I love Tony Z. I love Tony Z and I love our team. And that's the thing. I'll get in my stuff in a second. I don't care about that right now because that's sort of the icing on the cake for later. But as someone that's new to the business, as someone that's more experienced, but and how do you look at this right now? What are you concerned about? What's in your control and what's out of your control, right? You don't want to be Don Quixote really thought he was going to take out that windmill and never did. The guy had full of belief, he was ready to go and he punked himself every time. You don't want to be in that situation. You have to have a plan. That's part of it. What's your plan? Now, there's some people that think that you can pick up, I'm not talking to anybody here. I'm talking about like dealership X or anything like that you can go. It used to be, let me put it that way. It used to be that you literally would go through the phone book and you'd be dialing for dollars on the phone book. Now, I don't know what kind of percentage that was. I don't think that's a high percentage shot, right? Or are you working service? Are you working on customer? The up bus is not here and it's pouring rain. So we'll, in no particular order, take it and hit it. Like, what are we, the topic, obviously, metaphorically speaking, like, what are you doing? How do you win? Go ahead.
In my opinion and my philosophy, mindset is the biggest thing. Reason being, without a good mindset, you'll create your own roadblocks. Besides that, I'm just getting creative with what I do. I make as much car films as I can. I try to be as informative as I can. And just prospect as much as I can. There's not much we could do. There's a lot of factors that's out of my control, but everything that's within my control, I try to, manipulate it to where it works for me.
Let's start right there at the sales level.
Right.
Guesstimate. Nobody knows, right? And it's got to be definitely store dependent. I'll tell a short story. Like when I was at Audi Central Houston, we had so much traffic. You had the metro of greater Houston area is about equivalent literally to Southeast Florida. So that West Palm to Miami corridor, they're both around 6 million-ish plus or minus whatever. And you've got in the Miami space, you have, I think, 5 of the top 15 stores in the entire country, right? Along with all kinds of other brands. In Houston, we had at that point 3 Audi stores. Now there's 4. So different, right? Different sort of market. Because of that, we're right near the medical center. The point I'm trying to get at is hey, if you're good at internet, you can do it well. If you're good at ups, you're going to do well. You blew this up, guess what? There'll be 2 or 3 more. There was a volume where there was more in your control. You're right. In just because you know what you know. So I'm trying to be precise about this question. In this store right now, and again, say whatever you want to say. I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble, and I'll take my own responsibility. What percentage? Because this is more of my theory is you have to market this store. The store has great potential, but it absolutely needs marketing. You have to turn it into a destination. You do not have a volume of ups in this store. It's not there. Like, I don't know that there's been a day that I've been here, Saturdays included, where we've seen 10, 15 ups, like fresh ups. You get me? Like, I mean, when I was at Audi Central Houston, it wasn't uncommon. I mean, we could have dozens. I think I remember like there was over 50 appointments on different scale. Right. So given what this store is in your experience, what percentage is under your control? It's never 100% because you don't buy the cars. You know what I mean? Like, you're not right. You're not making hiring, firing decisions. What percentage do you think is in your control in this store?
I mean, it's tough because it can vary. I'd say could be 50%. I mean, you could control. I mean,
I'd say about 50% as well, because besides all the tools we're given and which we utilize, we need to utilize our time as well externally. At the end of the day, just like real estate, they have to pay for things. A lot of this stuff is given to us for free, so we just have to find ways to utilize it the best. Not only that, is when we're outside, you let people know, this is what I do, this is my profession. I could help you out if you know anybody. Word of mouth travels. So, I mean, there's all types of things you could potentially do.
I sort of agree with you, and I sort of disagree. I think for the average salesperson, and I'm probably getting in trouble on this one, but I'll take some risks. It's okay. I think 20 to 30%, 20 to 1/3 is in your control. But the potential is about half is in your control. And the potential, and like Gino brought up a great point about the birthday thing. I think that was why didn't I think of that? That's simple. That's brilliant. It just makes common sense, right? Now, a lot of that's if you dig into a certain brand and you dig into a certain store and you become that Audi person or brand, maybe the Jeep person or the BMW person or whatever it is. But I think right here, right now, if I'm a salesperson on the street, I don't know how to do all this. You're very skilled, obviously, at media and stuff like that. You do some of that. So, I mean, I think that someone that's not inclined to that, or hey, I'm scared to be on camera, or hey, I don't, not that I'm going. But then again, like if you're a salesperson, like real estate, you have to do that. You have to brand yourself and market yourself in sales. You become your own marketer. So I think for most average salespeople that have been in this business, that's not them by nature. Whereas, like you said, with real estate, you have to do that. If you're in like media, if you're in show business, you have to do that. You have to have the headshot. You have to do all that. So there is that opportunity, but you have to build into that. Right. And then put that, and it's hard, I think, in this business. It's a very instant gratification business. What's going to pay me a commission today? What's going to put, if you're management, what's going to put something on the books that I can send to upper management or ownership today? You have to do things that you invest in. Right. And so making that, you need me? Oh, yeah. Okay. Making that shift here. Yeah, absolutely. Very interesting. And so I'm getting texts, I'm getting hits on the way. And that's a very good point right there. I mean, some people would say, and I could see it for myself, like let's say you're at a Toyota store. I haven't been to a Toyota store that's not busy. And I've been in different places, right? And to some degree, if you have an excess volume of ups, does that make you lazy? Would you not work as hard? Would you look at it differently? And I'm not trying to put it on the spot, but there is that mix between volume and quality. So I'll just say one last thing. When I started, Gino hired me and Brendan over there, but Gino obviously made the call at Audi Coral Springs, and I kind of put both of them together. That's right. And they sent me to the kind of the minor leagues, if you will. because they had a sister store, which is now Audi Fort Lauderdale, which is also a monster store, but before it was Audi Lighthouse Point, more of a boutique store. So you had very much snowbirds, very much high dollar people that were sitting right there on the intercoastal or by the beach and everything like that. And even though we didn't sell that many, like at one month we were the number one LR8 store in the entire state and stuff. So when you got a customer, you had to bear hug them because that was it. That was all you're going to see all day. So you had to. So that's a good point right there. Like, do you feel that given the volume of this, let me try to turn it in a more positive way. Do you feel like given the volume of this store, that's made you into better salespeople to be able to be a better closer and stay with that customer?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the volume that we get here, we're going to treat each customer the same. And we don't, like you mentioned, we don't know when we're going to get our next opportunity or our next up that walks through the door. We're trying to create a destination store. So as opposed to other dealerships that have the higher volume and they're just thinking, they get a lot of window shoppers, they get a lot of people that come in and kick tires. So are they going to give that same amount of attention to each and every person that comes in the door? Probably not, just because they're going to say, well, I'm going to get another opportunity here in 10, 15 minutes. Whereas here, we don't know when our next opportunity is going to come about. So we treat each opportunity here as, this could be it for however long. So we're like that with every customer. Whereas higher volume stores, they're just, can turn and burn, if it's not good for them, you can head out. We get plenty, you know what I mean? So,
and another thing is, I'm going to use slightly kind of like an analogy.
Go for it.
Think of a hunter. If you're hunting and there's a scarcity of food, you're going to try. You're going to keep trying. You're going to look. Now, if you're used to food coming to you, you're going to sit back lazy, just kind of chill out. So in this kind of environment, you have to hunt. You have to. Since I've been here, I've been hunting and it's been working. I don't know how it would be in a different store, but, you just have to hunt.
And I think that's part of why I want to do this show, because so many people. And I just had this conversation, and again, I'm not trying to air anyone out in personal stuff. I try to be very vague, but a lot of people think the grass is greener, right? And I mean, again, the good and the bad about me is that the negative that I get is, you jumped around a lot, John, and yeah, I have, and there's a lot of reasons for that. One, my wife and trying to get her career set up and stuff like that, and then school and stuff. And then also I'd break pay plans and they change them. And like, no, I'm going to get my money, right? I'm not going to, and I'm not afraid of anything. I'll take risks. I know what I can do. I'm not worried. If I have a certain metrics, it's game over. I should be making 15 to 30 a month on the floor, let alone, I believe I should be a GSM or GM right now. And it's so funny because I got a text today. We'll get into that later. It's not about me right now. I'm just saying I got a text right now today from somebody really high up that I think agrees with that sentiment. But again, that's also talent and how you look at things. But the point is when we're talking about people today, it's happening to everybody. So it's not like there's and I knew someone, because you can put yourself, okay, well, I'm saying too many things at once. The advantage that I have is I've worked for 3 of the big corporates, AutoNation, multiple times. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking right now. The one out of Houston. Why am I'm blanking right now. I worked for Sonic, right? Sonic Automotive, right? And also, what was oh my goodness, I can't believe this. I'm totally blanking. I'm driving myself crazy. Yep. So it starts with a G. What is this? Hold on, give me a second. And you know what? It doesn't matter. And I've worked in 3 different states. I've worked with different brands, everything from Volkswagen all the way up to Ferrari. Been a manager, been GSM in training, been a fleet sales manager, done internet, ran internet management, all that type of stuff. Obviously, we all do finance now, right? So I've had that level of experience. So the benefit of that is I've seen different stores. I've seen the small stores. I've seen the different brands, the tough brands. I've won and broke records with the tough brands. I've been at the easy brands. And I've seen that there's a big difference. You know what I mean? Like when you work in a Toyota store, like, whoa, okay, that's very different, right? This product's easy to sell. You're not worried about, but then you have to shift your focus. Like, wait a minute, like, if you just saw a Tacoma that came in 300,000 miles, your approach is different. And when you're talking about, right, as opposed to, let's say that you're maybe a exotic, type. I'm not going to even name a name. I don't want to be, whatever, but there's, you can see the difference in pricing in some of these, right. And so I think that I've seen so many different leaders and leadership styles and processes and approaches and all these things. Group one. There we go. Group one. There we go. Oh, I can't believe I didn't remember that. By the way, I mean, they've got a hold of a monster Audi store in Audi North Miami, right? In one of the top 3-5 in the country. So that's given me some insight on these approaches, and what I'm saying is, I think that there's a lot in your control. I think in order to get more in your control and more in your control as a store, you have to reinvent the wheel, because everybody's down. Everybody thinks their process is the best. All the corporates, they spend buckets of money. They've got public companies, stuff like that. They've got processes. Some have their own CRM. This is all public, so disclosed out there, right? The AutoNation, stuff like that. I mean, they have their own market. So it's like, if everyone's suffering, and I do think it's a tale of two markets too. I think you've got some winners. I'm talking to some of my people out there that they're smashing it. And then you have some people that it's just look out below. They're getting crushed. They've gone on radio silence for a minute because it's gotten real hard because of the used car stuff. So the point being is, I think you have to say, like I like to say, I can't make a market. I want to beat the market. So if the market's down, then it's going to be down. When it's banging, then it's banging. Right. And so it's like when I was at Infinity of the Palm Beaches during the season in the winter, that store under Sal Del Greco and there's JP, and I was there, and Jerry Raymond was there, and Tim Silver, and there's all of those names are top names in the business. You know what I mean? And those that know that. And we would compete against and the gang over there at Infinity of Coconut Creek before the Audi days. Oh my gosh, I'm bringing it back. I'm talking about the old school OGs. We were number 2 in the nation. But guess what? In the summer, player, it wasn't. So same team, same store, but a different time, different market. Right. So given that, how do you do what Dennis is talking about? How do you try to reinvent yourself? How do you add value to this? Obviously, you guys are smart enough, in my opinion, to do the show right here and all that. But how do you look at that? Because it's easy. It's so easy to get oh no, and just depressed on it, right? And I think it's about time allocation and about making those investments.
Right. And it just goes back to, what we've been talking about this entire time is just controlling what we can control and not getting discouraged when you see other team members having deals go out. You're having a slow day. It's because you can only control what you can control. And I really stick by that, just because, take today, for example, you're going to go through a slow day, and then boom, all of a sudden you got an appointment set for Monday, go out, run out, do a car film, raining outside. So, just build off of that. It might not happen today, might not happen tomorrow, but, take each small victory that you get and just continue to build off of that and just kind of snowball moving forward, because you don't know what tomorrow is going to be like. But if you can just continue to just, take those small victories and just keep building and not getting discouraged super easily, because in this business, it can happen. And it's just all about, having that mindset and just, keeping your head forward and just, dialed in.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I'll say a couple of things about that. Look, I mean, it's first of all, I love seeing other people sell cars. Particularly because I'm so used to having a target on my back and all the hate and everything like that. Oh, why John? Oh, this and that. Oh, blah, 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 blah. All this type of stuff like that. And especially in the situation that I have now, I don't need any of that drama, right? So I want everybody to get paid up, sell your cars. Don't worry about me. I'm doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Because if I turn it up, player, it's game over. It's game over. If we get the customers here, you've seen me work deals. Okay. So there's not you know what I mean? Maybe I lost a step, maybe I lost 2 steps. I would have had to have lost 50 steps, dude. And I haven't lost 50 steps. So it doesn't matter. But the point is that I love seeing other people sell cars. And guess what? If you're selling a car, it makes it easier when you've got a customer. How much easier is that?
The reason why I get happy,
Talk to me.
I get excited when I see people sell cars because that only proves that I could do it too.
Right.
And if anything, one day I might be having a bad day, the next day I might sell 2, 3. And I've seen that happen. It's happened to me. I've seen it happen to others, just keep good spirits and stuff like that. You just can't stop.
Okay, so how do you think outside? So I think we're all bought into that, and I think that that's really, really great. And we have great leadership, as we talked about with Gino Walsh and Tony Zita, and we have a great brand. And so I think it's tough. I think everyone's come to that realization, and it's okay. And guess what? It's okay if and again, we're speculating. We're not just saying it, but I mean, like, dude, the smartest people who make these plans or make the estimates or do the marketing or whatever like that. I mean, you know what? Guess what? They make mistakes. Things happen. That's what it is. I mean, if you're on Wall Street, different things like that, you got a winner and a loser on these trades. I mean, it happens. So that's fine. So, you play the hand that you're dealt. What do you do right now? Like, what are you doing? So if we can, I mean, where are you at this month and where are you trying to be and what are you going to do to change the game?
So, I mean, right now, currently as it sits, I'm not where I want to be this month in terms of just volume, which that's okay though, because, it's one thing to just sit here and just be like, well, let's just move on to next month. Or, you're at the halfway point of the month for me, at this point of the month, I'm known to turn it on. I can crank it out. A couple months ago, I was at 1 on the 18th of the month and I finished with 9. So it can be done. I continue to crank cars out towards the end of the month. Going back to mindset though, it's not just going to happen just for feeling sorry for myself or just, sitting around watching everybody else sell cars. We'll be like, okay, well, what's going on? Why am I not doing it? Create opportunity.
And I don't want to be, I don't want to jinx myself or be like whatever, but to exactly your point, like I think in sometime, like maybe it was January, I don't know, sometime like late last year, early this year, whatever. Like I think I was like, I had no cars out or something like that. I can't remember, by like the 10th or the 14th. Like it was late.
Yeah, it
was pretty late. And there's other things going on. I didn't want to we'll leave that alone. There was a reason I wasn't fully engaged, right? But it doesn't even matter. It just, you know what? It doesn't matter. Luck happened. This is, no one's gonna be 100%. You can't. That's the other thing too. You can't sprint a marathon. But for whatever reason, for a variety of reasons, or who knows what, like I was sitting at 0 cars. Dude, I think like, and those little CIT meetings, like those meetings that we have like that, like I had a monster weekend, and all of a sudden I went from here on the PVR to top of the group, and then I think I ended up with almost like 20 cars that month. Yeah, at an Alfa Romeo Maserati store player, and I think like the store broke a record for January. We smashed out 55 cars, dude. And the growth is there, everything's there. So you never know. That next up may be your best up, right? And it's like, and how do you take advantage of that opportunity? But again, I want to focus on. We all know that, and I think you guys are warriors and have the mentally sales wise and have the toughness and have the skills. But I want to know like marketing, creating your own traffic, and so to some degree, it shouldn't fall on you. On the other hand, why would you not take advantage of that? Because here's the deal. Like we have someone in this group, and I've always liked him from the beginning, right? And I don't want to air out Kevin Bowles. That dude over at VW, like I love Kevin. And I've said this, like, you can't have a conversation with Kevin. I've said it to his face many times. I've said it to his wife too. You can't have a conversation with Kevin. It does not involve Kevin being the number one salesperson. But I love Kevin. Because Kevin's and I just like the way he carries himself. I like the way he attacks the deal. I like the way he's always on it. I like the way he's all about his family and everything. Like I'm cool with Kevin. Kevin is about it, and he does that extra level of marketing. The Facebook stuff, the talking to people, the doing different things, being out in the community. Like, you talked about that. Talk to me a little bit more about that and how you developed that as someone newer to the business.
So currently where I live in Winter Haven, and I live in an apartment where I guess a bunch of different high-end or I guess professionals live.
Absolutely.
And currently I'm in the works with one of the ladies. She actually runs the Haven magazine. It's just small things like that, building relationships so I can further myself. But me furthering myself here as a brand with Audi, I'm also marketing here, so it's doing multiple things. You're knocking out more, two birds with one stone.
What do you think?
Yeah. So, I mean, even something small for me that I haven't been doing, but I just recently started doing is just carrying around my business cards with me.
There you go.
I mean,
I should do that. Oh man, that's like this is the basics. Go ahead.
I mean, it's something small that you really wouldn't think could make a difference, but when I go out, you'd be surprised at the opportunities and the conversations that if you open yourself up to conversations that you don't know, like if people, like I've been asked for, my business card and I've not had them on me, and it's made a subtle difference.
Or if you wear the gear, or hey, I'm looking for a car, the cashier, anything like that. It's
absolutely. Right. I went to, and strange enough, I went to the dentist's office, and when I got my teeth cleaned, I was just striking up a conversation with one of the receptionists there just because I had an Audi t-shirt on, and she mentioned that she had like a really old Audi, and I was like, hey, well, here's my business card that I got on me. And yeah, so I just, networked with someone that I just never would have thought to have a conversation with just because of, the shirt that I had on, and then I happened to carry a business card with me.
I'm going to put these guys on the spot right now. I just thought about something, and I think this is a cool way to talk about it, and we'll see it right here. If I were to put you, and I'm taking full responsibility about it. And first of all, we're lucky that we have, again, top management and top process, and a process that's easy and a process that's fast and a process customers like and all that. And that does make it a lot easier, right? I mean, it's really hard when you're that salesperson and they love you, but oh my gosh, John, I had to wait 5 hours, and oh my gosh, I couldn't do this, and and the car didn't stand tall, and there's issues with it, and the management, believe me, neither one of you guys have worked enough. I mean, like I said, I've seen a lot of things, and I've talked to a lot of people, see a lot of things, and that's a different thing. So we have the reverse situation. But okay, let's say I'm making you owner or general manager, or, for a day, whatever. You guys are owners or general managers for the day, for the month, whatever, doesn't matter. What would you do? We're not criticizing anyway. We're just saying, hey, you're an owner for the day, right? What would you do to bring people in here? Or what does this store need? Like, I want to see the analysis, right? Where no one's criticizing, but what's the analysis? Because guess what? Good ideas can come anywhere, right? I mean, I'm a super genius, whatever like that. I think I know a lot, but let me tell you, like, I'm constantly hearing great ideas, and I love it. So go ahead, talk to me. You got all kinds of ideas. I know you do.
I would do little collaborative events with different, businesses, small business around here, because Polk County is a pretty close-knit county.
See, I love that. I've been banging on them about that one. Go ahead.
That's very important. Everybody knows somebody here, and I mean, if we could do something as small as little car meets here. I know we threw a Cars and Coffee here,
huge, and
the turnout was really good. And not only was it good, it brought people who never even knew this dealership was here.
They didn't even know it's here. They live here all their life. So, like I've heard that multiple times. Oh, I was Lincoln. I didn't know it was here. And you try to tell that to some people, like they don't believe that. That is a thing. Yeah. That is a real thing. Go ahead. I like where you're going.
I mean, just doing stuff like that. Like I said, word of mouth. I mean, you could think about certain campaigns back in the day, like for example, Chipotle. At one point, was only a word of mouth company.
That's right.
Silvercar,
and they would give you a free burrito. I remember there was some of that going on, like for like to get people to Silvercar.
Yeah, because even if I tell you, hey, I really trust this guy, you're gonna believe me because you know me, or you are acquaintance of mine, or something like that.
Do you think that we should get out in the community and take the cars out places, do a little business? You see a lot of that with when I was at Ferrari, we were outside the dealership most of the time.
When I was with Silvercar, what I do is I take one or two cars, one of like an A4, Q5, or Q7, and I go to different hotels and place them there and say, hey,
I love that.
Something is, if you guys need a rental, at least you have this. I could set up everything remotely, and it used to sell all the time.
Change it up. What do you think, Nick?
I think I can piggyback a little bit off of what Dennis is saying, and just so we've done here a couple times. just after hours here, we've all just kind of hung together as a group and just done like, played some games here and hung out at the dealership after hours. So scale that a little bit bigger and maybe just get, everyone or small groups of people out of the dealership some days and just, go out and network ourselves and just network, that we're here as the business and like just kind of moving forward off of what he says. I like that idea of like, dropping the cars off there, but we've done stuff here as a group together after hours. So, how can we scale that into, bringing all of us out together outside of the dealership and, just continue to build off of, just little things like that because we're already, how close we are as a group here. So, doing that outside would be, relatively easy.
See, I love that. And I'm going to say a couple things right there. First of all, was any of this planned? No. I didn't tell you about, we just had general, this is a topic, whatever. There's nothing planned, nothing scripted, anything like that, right? Correct? Okay. Now, the funny thing is, I'm going to pat myself on the back. That's what I do. But I mean, but it's still true, right? I promote, I do not lie. And so basically it's like this, dude. Like I literally am a professional in media, right? Professional broadcast person. Also, I have a degree from Johns Hopkins in communication, honors, A+, which is like 98% and above in 80% of my classes. Like this is what I've consulted for people. I've been in the marketing means. I've done all kinds of stuff, right? I'm CMO for an automotive group and stuff like that. And the point of it is that like, dude, I've been telling management this. I've been telling executives this. Now, Tony Z and Danny are fantastic and they've been open to it. That's why I'm here. I'm not saying there's no disconnect here. That's why I'm here. But it gets so busy that everyone's on the treadmill, especially when it's slow. And then, of course, it's always on the treadmill. The point I'm trying to make is this is not about me. The point I'm trying to make is I did no preparation. I mean, it's always, but it's always a point. There's no preparation here whatsoever. I did not prep them. They did not even know that. I just sent stuff in an email last night to Tony Z and Danny laying out the plan. Guess what? They just hit on some of that plan. Guess what? There's no preparation. Guess what? There's been no collaboration here whatsoever. What I'm saying is the talent is in the dealership. You have to listen to your people. Listen to the front line. Talk to them. Stay with them. Tony Z does such a great job of hanging out with us, right? Talking to the people right there. So sometimes it's a top down, and I get it. But the problem of it is that I see is sales managers like to hang out with sales managers, and GSMs like to hang out with the GM, stuff like that, and the executives and stuff. And there becomes this group thing. And sometimes in some of the leadership, you haven't been on the floor in 20 years. Okay. And you don't talk to the people that are front line, that are touching the customers every day. That doesn't mean that you're totally out of touch, but what it means is there's good ideas everywhere. And you have to talk to your people. These are brilliant ideas that I just heard, that I've worked hard on, that I went to school for, and then I immediately put out there. Now I've got my own. It's like, dude, it's there. You have to plug into that. And don't you? So the point I'm trying to make is, would you like to have some, how do I phrase this right without like, do you think that forget about us, forget about our ownership group. Do you think that other groups, other businesses could benefit from talking between the levels and getting ideas from the frontline people?
Absolutely. Two heads are better than one, no matter what. And, salesman, manager, top dog, all have different points of reference. And as a collective, you could put something together great, really.
What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And even the other day after, doing a couple of these with you, I just, I even went online and I just started looking at some social media channels of, other Audi dealerships across the state of Florida, and just the presence alone, I was on there just kind of scrolling through, and just, it caught my attention. I was just like, wow, this is done extremely well. Let's tap into this.
And we just threw it together.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like we had someone here saying, oh, how many people look at this? It's not about that. In fact, I'll say a couple of things. First of all, I have to say this is I just heard from our leader here, and this is a great message. And we're breaking news right now. Okay, Audi club meetings are welcome here at Audi Lakeland, as well as other clubs. Contact myself, John V, or Tony Zita. Our conference room is open to car enthusiasts. There you go. I mean, we're making news on the fly. We're getting things done here on the live. But this is exactly right. Because the thing is people are like, oh, you only have 10 views. Let me tell you something. you see my LinkedIn when like it's not about who watches it right now. It's about who watches it later and how, and the multiplicity that it goes on to and the sharing. And I mean, hundreds of views, and it's about who watches every single time. Almost, I'm not going to claim everything. Like, let's just say, dude, lots of times, like you're seeing, like, I can just, dude, heavy. I'm constantly hearing from VPs of auto groups, general managers, executives, executive managers, owners, everything like that. And in fact, I just talked to my buddy Jerry Raymond, right? And I do some little part-time CMO stuff for him and stuff, and he's getting his thing, and he's going to be on the show soon. And Gino knows, everybody knows everything. That was the way coming in, and he's like, John, he wants to be on the show again, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, no. Lots of people come up to me and talk to me about being on the show. And in fact, when you search on it, it comes up first in the search. So it's not like people have to get their mind around exactly what you do, the opportunity and the skill set it gets you. Now you're more comfortable presenting to people. I talked to some people here that, when you talk to them, very personable. Oh, I'm afraid. You can't be afraid. Right. It's like if you were, if you want to be good at sales, you have to be good at rejection. You have to be able to put yourself out there, asking someone for their contact information, or asking them if they want to buy the car, or asking them if they, in your personal life, hey, you want to hang out, whatever it is. Like if you can't, if you don't take a risk, well, what's the old basketball saying? You miss every shot you don't take. I love it. Look, you guys are great. You guys are superstars. I appreciate the time here. I appreciate you putting up with me. I appreciate Tony Z. Oh, look, I'm a lot, right? But you feel it. It's a shift. Now that you know that we can do this, how much fun would it be without this?
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
It changes the game. We're able to what we need to do is bring this store and the great staff and the great leadership and the great cars and the great showroom out to everybody and make this a destination. Why can't we sell? This can go, this is worldwide. This is global. Now, obviously, you know what I mean? But I mean, like it's so easy to drive from Tampa to Lakeland, or Brandon to Lakeland, or Orlando to Lakeland, or Naples, or wherever else, player, because there's action happening right here. And there's great people like Nick Barolda and Dennis Powell and Tony Zeta and John V and everybody else. It's right here. The question, the challenge for you is this. The economy's tough right now. Car sales are tough. It's not easy. I get it. We get it. We're living it right now. I got to think like, I got 3 cars out. How am I going to end up with 10 plus? I'm trying to get full-time money with part-time work. I'm working on a bunch of other things on the side. I'm working on marketing for here. I'm working on launching the show, hopefully Monday. I'm doing so many, and being a dad and all the rest of it. And guess what? There's a lot of other people that have more challenges than that, and we're going to figure it out every day. The question is, and what we pose today is, how do you step outside of your box, and how do you look at things in a different way to augment what you're doing? You have to do the basics right, of course, but you have to do more than that, because everybody's suffering. So it's not about, doing the impossible, and it's not 100% in your control. I don't believe that. I've never believed that. Oh, you're not selling 10, it's on you. Well, no, it's partially on you, but a lot of it's not on you. But whatever it is, you're not going to change the market, but you got to be able to beat the market and just be where you need to be and go from there. So that's what I have to say today. So it's a great discussion. I appreciate it. I appreciate this. For Nick and Dennis, I'm John D. Villarreal, and everybody here at Audi Lakeland. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Stay blessed. We'll see you next time.